How were you prepared to go from player to leader? Or were you prepared? Did other people prepare you? How do you go about navigating this shift?
No. No one prepared me for that. No one helped me with that. I would say transition. But captaincy was a very big part of who I was as a cricketer throughout my career. So I felt it being part of my destiny and purpose to captain. It's where I felt most at ease. So right through my career, it would have been, under 11, 13, 15, 19, academy, SA, SA 19, or would that be that journey of captaincy? So I wanted to be captain of South Africa. Did I think it would happen? To be honest with you, no. I didn't think it would, because you just, at that time, you don't see it. You're playing under Graham Smith and you go, this guy's going to play forever. And then AB becomes captain, and he's also a good captain. And you go, this guy is going to play forever. Like, the only chance is if he breaks a finger, and he never misses a game. So you have it, but it's not something that I go to. So I don't go, oh, I want to captain now. I want to captain now. Yes, I would have loved to be captain, but I didn't think about it. I just thought, maybe it's not going to happen. But then there came a time when it was like, okay, Graham's done. AB is playing, but AB is starting to, he's not there as much anymore. So now they're looking at, okay, we need to maybe look at some other options. And then that's when this is me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Even at that stage when I wasn't playing, I would have been very comfortable to captain all three formats. And it would have been a massive call to make from them, because what we do in our environment is we always go for the best players generally to captain the side. And in most cases, those guys are very, very, very good captains. Probably the best captain that you would find in that era or that time. But once again, I didn't see myself as the best player. I saw myself as more a leader than a player. So I was even more comfortable in that space. So at that stage, they made me captain of the T20 side, and that's when you were there. They made AB captain of the one days, and I think Graham was still captain of the test. Was AB also captain of the test?
AB took that over.
AB took over. And then Ash became test for a short while, and I think AB was still one days and I was still T20s, and then AB phased off, and then Ash was like, this is not for me, because I don't think Ash ever really wanted to do it, but it was because Ash was the best player at that stage. Ash was an absolute gun machine performance and an absolute legend of a team guy. So I don't question them going there, because it actually makes sense, because he's such a good guy, and in terms of the culture and the values, he would be perfect for that. But it's not something that he necessarily wants to do, because captaining South Africa comes with a lot of stuff, a lot of responsibility, a lot of stuff off the field that you have to deal with. But that, honestly, that never really got to me. Like, you get to days where it's like, ooh, this is a lot. But I didn't mind having stuff put on my plate. Whether I'm speaking to a selector or speaking to this guy or speaking to the board or speaking to the CEO, which is not something that you would think a captain have to do. But I didn't mind a little extra bit of work on my plate, because I felt most at home looking after the team, whatever that meant. So it's a little bit off your topic of your question, but I think it's got some relevance for the whole picture.
So I'd be interested, so you said you captained all the way through in that. So what is it about you? What are those core 2 or 3 things that you would say for you has been important or focus, or why is it that you were captain and wanted to be captain right from a young age?
To say that I like the control is the wrong phrasing, but I like to be the guy that's responsible to lead a team in a direction. And that's not about control whatsoever. It's just like, if I believe that there's purpose for something, then I'm really happy to take the team there. So the culture at that stage was really, it had a really strong identity. But there was one or two things that we were falling short of.
You're talking about the Proteas now when you took over.
Yeah, sorry. So then that purpose becomes really clear for me. That's where we're going, and I'd like to be the guy that helps us get there. So that purpose really then becomes magnified for me. So I think that part of leadership is like, I want to be the guy that takes us there. And it's got nothing to do, it's a double-edged answer, because it sounds like I want to be in control. It's complete the opposite. I actually give away control a lot with leadership. It's like, or they're like, I don't know how to do this, help me.
Yeah, so I think the important distinction here is, it's not that you get different types of leaders who want to take the team to the top. You get the one type on the one side who says, well, I will do it, I'll lead, I'll tell you what to do, I'll take full control, authority, and dictate where we're going. And on the other side of the spectrum, you've got a very collaborative, facilitative leader who goes, okay, guys, and is able to harness the intelligence and the energy of everybody and share the responsibility to facilitate the team getting there. So it's two very different, and there's everything that's a continuum, and there's everything in between that.
Yeah, so I would sit extreme to the we side.
Yeah.
There's an element of like a leader have to make decisions sometimes that are lonely.
Yeah.
But then you rely on those people again for help. But yeah, definitely that the we thing for me, I had extreme purpose in as South African captain. And fast forward a long way down the line to the end, when I wasn't captain anymore, I tried to find purpose in another area by serving the information that I had in my body and brain to go, this is what I've learned from a leadership perspective, because I didn't get taught this. So can I use this season to give all of that as much as possible? But to be really honest with you, that didn't happen the way that I planned that it would.
We'll get to that. Just talk about, you said you had a real purpose as a leader. Can you make that explicit or define? What was your purpose?
Where we want to get to with a culture, not with winning.
Okay, so to talk a bit about that, because you say you want to get the team there.
Yeah, so
the automatic thing is, okay, that's to the number one or whatever it is.
Yeah, so obviously all of us want to win. That's every single team that plays. And I think because I'm so passionate about the how away from the nets, but more in the conversations, sometimes people can get that confused with, he's not motivated to win, because I don't talk as much about that. I am extremely competitive. So if you know me as a person, you know that everything I do is because it's competition, whether it's a cricket match or a little game of backyard cricket or braaiing or cooking or whatever. I want to beat you. Like, I'm super, super competitive. But my how in that is never really the hard skills, because every coach talks about that. Every player talks about that. The soft skills for me is finding the purpose in going, okay, how can I help grow this environment to what it was really good, but how can we take it one step further? So whatever that could be. So I remember that time specifically, to get into it really, was like, we had a bit of a dip in the culture in terms of how honest we felt like the environment was. We had this word that was part of our culture that was very important, was honesty. But just because of what happened, there was a few things that through actions that have happened, that became bad. And people started feeling unsafe and insecure in their environment because of the actions that some of the selections or coaches or boards or whatever had a big impact in that. And that started having an impact on our performance. So people think, you're not playing as well. No, because if you track it back, you'd actually go, this team right now is not healthy because there's a lot of things that's happening behind the scenes that is questionable. Okay, so I was like, great, because this gives me purpose. I can now take this lack of honesty that's happened, and as a leader, I can shift this direction and go, okay, this is one way we can better the environment by doing X, Y, Z, putting it in place. And then getting conversation with the team feels like things are out on the open now. I don't feel like the coach and the captain are having their own, and then the coach says this and the captain says this. It becomes this real open platform of the way we speak is about challenging each other to get better. So if you 19 and it's your first game, this environment must feel like an environment for you where you can go, Skip, I'm not sure about that. And then the way I respond backs that up in a way that I can't knock it down, because that is something that's happened before, because our egos get in the way. And then I know, okay, what's my role in this process? My role is to actually be at the space of talking to the team. But if I can be vulnerable, authentically vulnerable, that will blast through the rest of the team. So then they see that from the leader. So that purpose, and I think in my book, is a big part of this vulnerability element that I'm comfortable with, that I can sit down and I can share things with you that is probably not okay for a leader to sometimes share, but what it does is creates a healthier space downwards. So things like that I found real purpose in, and it could be different things.